Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for streaming with us today. I'm Elise Seedy, and we're so glad you're joining us, whether it be through Fox Local or Fox 5 Radio 1 Network, 107.9 HD2 FM. Quite a bit of news to get to today, including a new medical center that's opening. Of course, we're talking about the weather. A beautiful week ahead as we get ready to embark on the holiday weekend and September. But we begin right now with a house fire. We got news of this. This happened in Carroll County. We learned that one person is dead. Another person is in the hospital after a house fire that happened really early this morning on Daniel Road. We have our Kim Leffler joining us live from the scene now just to give us some info on what happened here and just a sad situation, Kim.
Yeah, it really is. As you mentioned, we know one person is dead and another is in the hospital following this fire. As you can see here, crews do remain on scene at this hour, but let's take you to some video that our crews here got a little earlier today. Now, as you mentioned, we know this fire broke out at around 2 a.m. When firefighters got to the scene, they found the house here fully engulfed in flames. Despite their best efforts, the fire left the home to partially collapse due to all those flames. Medics did rush one victim to Grady Memorial Hospital. Right now, we don't know their current condition. And as I mentioned, crews here do remain at the scene, investigating, trying to determine exactly what caused this fire. Right now, officials have not yet released the names of the victims as well. So we're going to be here throughout the day talking to neighbors about what they saw, what they heard. And of course, we'll keep you updated right here on Fox Local and Fox 5 as well.
And Kim, it's like one of the big pieces of this is that anytime there's a house fire, it's devastating and it's terrible. But when you're talking about one that happened at 2 a.m., it makes it hard for folks to get out. That seems to be exactly the situation that we saw in this situation, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And this is also a fairly remote area. There are some houses right along here, but it's even hard to see the house from my vantage point on the roadway because it's kind of tucked back beyond some of those trees there. So that certainly played a role as well.
Yeah, some sad news coming out of Villa Rica this morning, that house fire. Kim Leffler filling us in on that. Kim, thank you so much for that. I know we'll have more details coming in, hopefully, to let us know more about who was impacted by this and perhaps the cause of that fire as well. Let's get to another story that we're following this morning. This is closing arguments that are expected in the trial of former Georgia State Trooper and Buckhannon Mayor A.J. Scott. So we saw him yesterday on the stand, had a chance to listen in to what he's saying. Basically, this is all going back to that 2015 crash that killed 2 teenagers and injured 2 others. So this could be a big day as all of this could be wrapping up. Closing arguments could be happening today, going into jury deliberations as well. So we have Kevin Stewart, who is joining us to fill us in on what's happening in court today. Kevin?
Yeah, at least 4 days of testimony, and now we have finally gotten to the point where we do have closing arguments that are going on as we speak. Attorneys trying to get this case across the finish line for jurors. I want to take you inside the courtroom. You get a good look at A.J. Scott sitting at the table there in a dark suit. If convicted, he faces 30 years and 48 months in prison. It convicted on all charges, vehicular homicide being the big one for the deaths of teens Kylie Lindsay and Isabella Chinchilla when his trooper car crashed into their car, as you noted, back in September 2015. The prosecution is focusing on Scott's driving, the excessive speed, the defense directing the jury to the teen driver who survived the wreck, saying that telling the jury that he should have yielded when he turned left. I want you to listen to opening statements.
Drove his vehicle, while a set of surrounding circumstances rendered the manner in which he drove reckless. It's dark, it's raining, there's a hill crest. The speed limit is 55. The state is not required to prove that the defendant intended to drive recklessly. The state is also not required to prove that he even knew that he was. Which brings us to reasonable doubt. Reasonable doubt is sometimes a hard thing to put your mind around. It's the doubt of a fair-minded juror honestly seeking the truth. But it is not beyond all doubt. It is not for mathematical certainty.
They tried to prove prove to you through some questions that his duty was somehow greater driving up that road than anyone else was. That's not true. They have made you believe, and I think it's come out, that he is somehow above the law. He's not. He wasn't. But you know what he is not also? He's not below the law. The law makes us all the same.
All right, so those are two excerpts from the closing arguments this morning. That's still ongoing as we speak. After closing ends, the jury will be charged and they will begin deliberating. That should happen sometime after lunch this morning. Elise?
Yeah, so Kevin, do we have any kind of idea just yet on how long that could all take? Any indication on maybe what we're thinking there?
Probably this morning they got underway around 9:30 this morning, and the judge said that the whole process of charging and the closing arguments are probably going to take about 3 hours. She had them take a bathroom break, she said, because we're going to go straight through, no breaks. So I would say about 2 to 3 hours.
And I mean, what's at stake here as far as, remind us on charges and on time that could be spent behind bars? What do we know about that, Kevin?
All right, 2 charges of vehicular homicide, speeding, reckless driving. In all, if Scott is convicted, he faces 30 years in prison and 48 months.
All right, our Kevin Stewart joining us live with what could be a very big day, no doubt, a story that we'll continue to follow this morning. Kevin, thank you so much for that. We appreciate it. Our time is now 11:07, and if you've had a chance to step outside today and enjoy that for a bit, you probably didn't want to go outside, and I don't feel like that's something that we can say often this time of year. So let's check in with meteorologist Jonathan Stacy.
They require.
If we've got you, I think we got you up, Jonathan. If you can join us with what we're expecting weather-wise, it's a beautiful day, and it's a beautiful next stretch of days, if I'm correct. Is that right?
Just come back. She's like, nah, neither.
All right, we see the extended forecast. Okay, we're going to get Jonathan Stacy ready here in just a little bit, but we are headed into the holiday weekend, and it's like we mentioned, not often that the weather is going to be nice. The humidity is low. Almost even needed a sweater this morning as I stepped out. So we'll talk about how long we can expect this stretch of weather before some rain is back in the forecast, because that is certainly on the horizon. But we do have quite a bit coming up for you this morning, including a ribbon cutting at a medical center. Okay, I'm getting a thumbs up. We're going to check in with Jonathan? No. Okay. We got a medical center that's opening up a new campus there in Marietta. Doesn't happen very often for students, so it's big news for them, big news for the community as well. We'll take you to a ribbon cutting live in just a few minutes. We'll see you on the other side of the break. Welcome back, everyone. We're so happy to have you streaming with us on this Tuesday, but we're basically just happy with the forecast as well. It's kind of one of those that makes the meteorologist everyone's favorite person. So we have Jonathan Stacy joining us now to talk about what's going on. Low humidity, the temperatures are pleasant. This is really nice, Jonathan.
There are all types of names floating around out there, Elise, to describe this kind of rare offset of the temperatures. Fake fall, false fall. You hear it all, like squeamish summer, whatever you want to name it.
That's a new one to me, squeamish summer, huh?
You know, some of them are being created on the spot here, just to give you some alliteration for this Tuesday morning. Nonetheless, this is quite a pleasant gift that Mother Nature has given us across the southeastern United States, and specifically here in North Georgia. Look at our temperatures that we started out with this morning. These are our low temperatures since midnight. We started out at 63 degrees here in Atlanta. The last time we were at 63 degrees was during the first week of June. So we're at this point some 85 days away from temperatures that were this cool. And so this is an early introduction of fall-like air moving in, especially with the lower dew points accompanying these cooler temperatures. Started out around 59 degrees in Covington, 57 in Carrollton, 63 for Rome, 63 also for Eaton, 55 the starting temperature up there in the mountains. That cooler air continues to be brought to us by the dipping of the jet stream, ushering in some northerly winds. Therefore, our below average temperature trend will continue right on through the remainder of the weekend, even into the weekend. However, the weekend will usher in some subtle shifts. As we take a live look outside right now, it looks like there is a decent deck of cloud cover, especially for downtown Atlanta and for points to the north and to the west. If you're down south and to the east, you're enjoying a lot of sunshine. So we'll call it a mix of sun and clouds at this hour with a current temperature of 76 degrees. Winds out of the north still in control, moving in at about 8 miles an hour. The dew point at 53 degrees. So over the next few hours, the temperatures will wander into the lower 80s. We'll look for a high of 82 degrees by 4 o'clock. Still, once again, there will be some clouds out there, but they are not rain-making clouds today. Temperatures settling back down into the 60s as we head to bed tonight. But first, we have to go up into the 80s. 82 degrees here in Atlanta, 82 for Rome. Some communities may not make it. Carrollton, model's putting you at 79 degrees for a high temperature, 77 there in Blairsville. Elsewhere, just over the 80 degree mark. In fact, for this time of the year, we should reach a high of 88 degrees. So we're about 6 degrees below those seasonal norms in terms of high temperatures. Speaking of highs, that area of high pressure that is giving us some cooler air and dry air will slide to the east, and it's going to ride the eastern seaboard as we get into the latter part of the week. And it's going to essentially move out the way and be shoved along by this area of low pressure that is still out across the Great Plains. As it trudges to the east over the Mississippi River, we're going to see it take a little kind of dip, if you will. But you'll start to notice a difference in how the skies look as early as Thursday. So the clouds for today and tomorrow are kind of in and out. Well, Thursday, those clouds are going to kind of hang on for quite some time. In fact, they may not break up. They'll increase as we go through the day. And potentially by the time we head to bed Thursday night, there could be a shower or two breaking out. And so we've given you the opportunity for about a 20% chance for a shower starting Friday, and we'll maintain that trend right on through the weekend into Labor Day. But overall, it's only a 20% chance for rain. Once again, that system is just a bit too close for comfort. I think the majority of the rainfall that we get at this moment, the models are trending that it will be to the south of I-20. So if you have some holiday weekend plans, it's going to be a marvelous weekend. However, it's not going to be utterly sunny. I think we can deal with that, considering that the temperatures will be still fairly comfortable with numbers around 80 degrees for high temperatures. The dew point eking up a bit, but nothing that will make it feel like you can't go outside or you want to run from the heat. because there won't be any.
Yes, you know, I feel like we're hitting the jackpot. Like you said, it's still going to be sunny. It's still going to be warm enough without being just absolutely sweltering. Okay, so I heard you say something about temperatures being cooler than usual. We're not talking like record-breaking anything, though, right?
No, there is an opportunity that some cities across the southeastern United States may, come really close to a record over the next 72-hour period. Here in Atlanta, no, we're straying far from the records at this point. 59 degrees when you wake up tomorrow morning. That will be our first visitation into the 50s since early June. In fact, June started off a bit cooler than average. So you know this, Elise, there have been points in times during the months of June and July and even August in which temperatures have actually ran below average. So I'm going to be interested to see what the numbers look like when we get to, what is that, Sunday night going into Monday, because that is the end of meteorological summer. And we'll be able to likely see a trend here that is going to pull the average temperature slightly below where it has at least been over the past few seasons in terms of summers, that we were likely below average in some cases. We've had some warm days, but we've had a couple weeks in the forecast or over the past 90 days that have just ran unusually cool.
Yeah, we have.
And this is one of them. These numbers will be entered into the data crunch when it's all said and done. So this has been a summer for sure, but an absolutely enduring, absolutely oppressive from beginning to end. We can't say so much.
Right. And we have this to savor as we get ready to say goodbye to August. So this isn't bad. We can live with this, Jonathan. Thank you so much for that. We appreciate it. I think we might visit with you again soon in just a little bit. All right, let's get to something really exciting that's happening in Marietta. It's not often that there's a new medical center campus that opens up for students to be able to learn. This is good news for both students and the community as well. We're talking about Medical College of Georgia, or MCG Atlanta, at Wellstar Kettystone. Our Chris Rosenthal is live for us in Marietta with more. I'm not sure if we're going to check in with him. We're going to at least listen in, though, to this ribbon cutting ceremony. Here it is.
Karen, want to stand up? First lady. Hey, everybody. Mary Chapman, you've been key to this whole partnership. Thank you so much. Richard Freeman, EVP for Physicians, great colleague. And I've got Richard and Ralph, the two R's. I couldn't do better. So thank you for making these great choices. And then, instead of your board into the Harrison Commons, and we have these student houses, we call them. And there was a basketball net there. And I gave the ball to him, and someone I won't name, but I'm embarrassed as a team, played no linebacker. He took a couple of shots. I don't think he did it. And Mr. Morgan came up there and swished two in a row. So very, very impressive basketball skills. I'm going to next ask Candace Saunders to come up. Candace was key to this. I said we go back. I first met Candace in 2017 when Dr. Keel and Dr. Keene, a number of us went over there. We kind of hit it off then. And then it just took patience. I always prayed for patience. I'm not a very patient person, but here it was 10 years later. Val remembers how long it took. We had the pandemic, a few delays, but finally it's all come together. So Candace, thank you very much.
Wow, what a day. I didn't think we'd ever get here. But we're here, and this is just another important step in just an amazing partnership. And I just couldn't be prouder. I wanted to make sure, though, that we recognized, as Dr. Hess said, it takes a team. So I did want to ask our board, because, Greg Morgan is our chair of the board, and we also have members of our board. If you would just please stand so we could recognize you, because as Dr. Perdue was moving, kicking and moving, these were the individuals with our voluntary board that was there shepherding this partnership. So thank you for being here. And also, I'd just like to ask, there are so many people. It's a team. We don't do anything today without a team. And I think as we bring on the new students, it's something I always emphasize when I have a chance to speak to them. It takes a team. and different backgrounds, experiences, and skills. So I'd like to ask the members of the management team, Lori, all you to stand up so we could recognize you. So as we look at this important milestone today, I really want to emphasize that as important as this is to Wellstar and to Augusta University, it's also really, really important to the future of healthcare in Georgia. We feel that we are making such important steps to ensure a healthier Georgian, fellow Georgians. We've talked about we're facing a critical physician shortage in Georgia. And I do emphasize that because sometimes these are things, and Dr. Freeman and Dr. Hess and Dr. Capps are always really very good about reminding us that as we look at the 5 generations in the workforce, we already have a critical shortage and an unevenness where our physicians are. And we are going to see that as we rank in the bottom half of other states for primary care and physician availability, the gap is only going to grow. And so that's why, as our board made the first step in around 2014 to get involved in graduate medical education as a community health system, it was a bold, major step. And it wasn't without a lot of change management and effort. But that began our journey on being part of the solution as we move forward. And this is just another important step in that journey today. That's why, as we look at it, with more than 350 clinical teaching sites across the state, Georgia's already making really good strides. And we really want to make sure that we emphasize what's working and the positive things that our elected officials and our different decision makers have done already. But we know that today, this Wellstar MCG Regional Clinical Campus at Kennestone, did I get it right? I'm sure there's going to be an abbreviation coming our way on that one, represents something much more. I was asked earlier today if we were a teaching hospital. We are a teaching hospital, but this is another major step. This campus hosts the MCG medical students now for both core clerkships and elective rotations, delivering the hands-on experience essential for becoming outstanding physicians. So as we know, in nursing, I got a lot of great book learning, but it became the hands-on care that helped me still, become the nurse that people needed at the bedside and in the exam room. And because this is a regional clinical campus, not just a rotation site, the scale and quality are truly impressive. It's a comprehensive, high-impact learning in one of Georgia's most advanced hospitals right here in Cobb County, Atlanta, Georgia, and covering a wide range of specialties and patient populations. So as the physicians tell me and the nurses, we have a lot of great clinical care that's a major learning laboratory for our students as they train. Our medical students will live, learn, and serve as part of the Wellstar healthcare community. And they can continue in one of nearly 300 residencies, positions in primary and specialized care. And as I look out and I see my good friend Phil Gingrey, I remember I first arrived in 2007 here, and he was practicing, and he's gone on so many different roles, and now he's in a leadership role with the Cobb County Medical Society. He keeps serving, and he keeps serving as such an inspiration for many of us. But as we know, OBGYN is another major area where we have the need for access across Georgia. And so we'll be making sure we're being part of that solution. All of this is part of Wellstar's commitment to train the future generations of caregivers here in Georgia, right here. Because we know that if they train here and we're really give them a reason to stay, they will stay here and live in Georgia. So that's part of what we're looking to accomplish with this partnership. When we joined forces with Augusta University, we promised to expand access to care, increase educational capacity, and build a stronger healthcare workforce for Georgia. This campus is a powerful example of how we're keeping that promise. Not just words, but this is the action to deliver on that promise. And it's just one part.
Just to share with you more of what you've been seeing and what you've been hearing, this is a big day. This is a celebration of a lot of people coming together to bring this medical center to Marietta. This is part, as you heard her saying, part of a network of 2-year and 4-year institutions that are helping to make this one of the largest, I think it's the 4th largest medical school class in the nation attending all of these different campuses. This campus in Marietta playing a really big role in that as well. So there's a ribbon cutting that's happening after this ceremony, and it's really a day to get to show off all the hard work. There's going to be a tour of the facility after that, but this is Medical College of Georgia, MCG Atlanta, at Wellstar Kennestone there in Marietta. It's a new 2-year clinical campus there of the Medical College of Georgia and Augusta University, making this happen for students, again, a 2-year facility here. And there's not been one of these that's opened up in several years as well. So a big deal for the school, a big deal for the community, and a big deal for the students there as well. All right, we have something really exciting to share with you. You know that traveling can be stressful. Trying to make it through the airport on time, your bags, your kids, get to where you need to get without missing your plane, it's stressful. And so there's a new program that's happening at the airport, and it involves therapy dogs. And it's quite the scene, quite the sight this morning. It's called Positive Vibes Therapy Dogs, and they're showing them off this morning, giving folks a chance to get to see them. I've seen a few that are in costumes as well, but this is all for a really important reason. You know, therapy dogs have a lot of work to do there at the airport. So we have our David Killebrew joining us out there. He's had a front row seat to get to meet some of these therapy dogs and get to learn more about the program. So let's check in with David here and see what's going on. Good morning, David.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. What's going on out there? We see quite a few moving pieces.
All right, there we go. Well, yeah, so it's pretty loud out here, so bear with me. We got a DJ, we got, I don't know, 4 or 5 dogs. We've even got a cat out here, one of those little hairless cats. So we've just got a lot to look at here. So yeah, we've got we can't see this dog right now. I have to stand a little bit far away and zoom in so I can hear, because otherwise all the dogs are hiding right now behind people. I can hardly hear when I'm up close because of the DJ. But yeah, it's
Can you hear me?
It's pretty
David,
exciting
okay,
out here right now.
Yes. So what? Tell me about this dog, this therapy dog that looks like a giraffe. Have you had a chance to see him up close?
Yeah, there's a therapy dog in here that looks like a giraffe. I can't get a good shot of it right now because there's people standing in the way here. But yeah, there's a little dog here that looks like a giraffe.
Yeah, and there's a buddy wearing a hat, the golden retriever there right in front of you, or Labrador.
Yep. We got this little fella wearing a hat. I'll show you. Yeah. Yep, that's a cute one right there. We got this guy over here. I'm not sure exactly what kind this is, but he looks like a little racing dog.
He does.
Like a little Great Dane.
He does. I've got a few of the names, David. I want to tell. There's Zen, the German Shepherd.
Greyhound, not a Great Dane, a Greyhound.
A Greyhound. Okay, we got Buford, the bearded collie, Oliver, the golden retriever, who I think that's who we saw in the hat there. But tell us a little bit about what their job will be, what the goal, the purpose of having them out there at the airport will be.
Yeah, so the reason they're having these positive vibes out here today is because they've got, people come to the airport, they might be stressed out, they might be worried about their flight, that maybe they've never even flown on a plane before, so maybe they, it might be comforting to have some furry friends to pet on and give you some comfort.
Yeah, do we know, David, how this will work? I mean, I'm totally on board and hope that I run into one of these dogs when I'm out there at the airport. But will they just be roaming around? Are they there for set amounts of time? Do we know anything about
Yeah.
their role out there, the times they'll be there, where they'll be?
Now I'm not sure exactly times, but I know that they said that they're going to have dogs out here daily. They're going to have dogs out here for passengers to pet on daily. These are these are therapy dogs. These are dogs that people can pet on. These are not dogs that are going to scare easily. As long as you're nice to the dogs, they'll be nice to you.
You know, we're seeing people roll through with their suitcases trying to get to where they're going, but they're stopping because this is a site. I don't know how you would possibly walk past this in the airport. So, David, have you gotten a sense of what folks out there are saying about this new addition out there?
Yeah, people like it. I've talked to a couple people out here who are really into it, and hope that this continues to be a thing.
Very cool.
It's definitely a great partnership.
It is. This is a good partnership. This is a fun one to get to see, to get to talk about, and for people to get to experience out there at the airport. Positive Vibes Dog Therapy Program out at Hartsfield-Jackson. Out there today, just giving folks a chance to get to meet some of the therapy dogs, share about the program, and let folks know, why this is needed there at the airport. Like we mentioned, it's a stressful place. It can be, so really no surprise that this is a new addition out there. But David, thank you so much for showing off the pups again. And you're right; they managed to move right in front of people just as we came out to you. But we can still kind of see them.
They took them all on stage here. I can try to get you over there a little closer if you like. We could try to get some closer shots of some dogs. It might get really loud though, so.
Okay, let's do it for a second because I want to see if we can get this giraffe dog because he's just too cute.
Yeah, I want to get this giraffe dog on air. Let's see what we can do here. Yep. All right, we're gonna try to move in here close. We got some David Bowie blasting in the background.
There he is, or she.
Here we go.
Oh my goodness, it's even better up close. That's amazing.
Oh, look at this one. Yep.
Wow.
Here's our little buddy with the hat on.
So cute.
Yep.
So I'm trying to figure out how they did it. I mean, did they use some kind of like paint? Like how do they have him looking like a giraffe? I need you to put this into.
That's what I'm curious about. I am not certain.
Oh.
It looks like maybe some kind of pet safe paint.
He does tricks.
Pet safe dye.
He gives high fives. How can that not make you smile? Oh my gosh, star of the show. Too cute.
Yeah.
This is something else. This is great. David, thank you so much for being out there, for getting up close to and personal to be able to show us these amazing therapy dogs. We appreciate it. This is great. Good to know it's out there at Hartsfield-Jackson now. David, thank you so much for that. Okay, so I'm standing here. Here's what we're going to do. Jonathan Stacy is on hand. We're going to talk weather with him in just a little bit. We're also talking about a Delta lawsuit, some claims that a passenger is making about a flight attendant. So we're going to fill you in on the forecast, plus this story as well. And we'll see you on the other side of the break. Welcome back, everyone. Elise Edie alongside meteorologist Jonathan Stacy joining us now once again with the forecast. What a nice week.
Awesome.
What a nice day. It's
amazing.
Awesome. Yeah.
All the adjectives or adverbs that you want to describe just a really splendid week, which is kind of a rarity for the final days of August.
Absolutely, yeah. And I feel like that's been the big change here. We've been dealing with a lot of rain, right? A lot of humidity, really high temperatures. And so it's kind of that sweet spot where we have a break from all of those things.
And so while it is such a contrast to what we have experienced over the past month, or over the last month, if you will, this is actually more normal than not.
Yeah,
if I can kind of put a spin on it. So in fact, as we get into the latter part of August, going into September and October, those tend to be drier months, generally across the southeastern United States. And pretty much, if we're going to get some rain around our neck of the woods, we have to rely on a passing or decaying tropical system to bring it.
Okay.
So these months are typically known for being quite parched, and we get into a drier pattern, and it's less driven by what's happening down below us in terms of the Gulf and the Atlantic, unless something steers it up in our way.
Okay.
And so this kind of lull, if you will, in low humidity, low rain chances, this is on track. But normally we have our eyes set on something that is lurking in the Atlantic and the Gulf. Now, last week we were doing that, definitely with Hurricane Aaron. And then we have Fernand now, that is basically a fish storm that is meandering into the northern waters of the Atlantic Ocean. But I think the void comes, Elise, because there's not something else to turn our attention to. And generally we could be looking, okay, there's something suspicious in the Gulf or something traveling across the Atlantic, and
so
that's
you don't
just
even
not
have
the
like
case.
your one eye kind of going into the direction of something there?
I will always keep my eyes peeled for something, because tropical weather, albeit very harmful, destructive, if it goes to its worst, is one of my passions. And so I'm always kind of looking closely. And there's a great deal of Saharan dust, which suppresses storm development out there in different parts of the Gulf and the Atlantic, and then also some dust wandering around portions of the Southwest, namely Phoenix.
Some of those crazy videos.
And to be honest with you, the science behind it is quite intriguing, and I cannot even break it all down. But it was definitely quite an encumbrance visually.
Yeah, was that the videos that we'd see? Was it called a haboob?
Yeah,
something like that.
Haboob. It's like I say, it's quite the phenomenon. But like they have monsoon season, they also have seasons in which there is a decent amount of dust that is coming in from the deserts that definitely went a bit too far in its coverage and in its force across the Phoenix metro area yesterday. And the setup is there. I looked. The forecast for some dust continues right on through Thursday there. So if you have plans taking you out west, hopefully you don't have to make a pit stop in Phoenix or actually go there, because that is what we're watching in terms of what's happening out west. But the Atlantic, the Gulf, they're chilling for now, but they're basking, in other words, to get ready to probably give us something as we kick off the month of September.
We'll take this.
Yeah.
We'll take what we have right now. It feels like a big win at this point.
Yeah.
Jonathan Stacy with us once again. Jonathan, thank you so much for that. We appreciate it. All right, have to get to some news that we were talking about a Delta Airlines passenger and some allegations that have been made there. Basically taking legal action against the Atlanta-based company. An attorney is claiming a flight attendant slapped a passenger in front of his 4-year-old child. They're saying this happened on a flight that was heading from Atlanta to Fresno. That attorney is saying the family is seeking significant damages here. So there was a news conference at 10:30. I'm not quite sure if they had that yet, what exactly came out of that. But yeah, this family is suing Delta Airlines, claiming that their 4-year-old child was slapped by a passenger. So of course you can count on Fox 5 to bring you the latest from whatever came out of that press conference and what could be coming up ahead as well. We are going to Walton County now. That's where many residents there are rallying against a 19.55% property tax hike. You think about that, 19.55%. It's quite a bit of money. So Walton County homeowners facing that, they're prompting protests. Residents fear that increase. They're making their voices heard. Let's check in with Chris Francis for more on what's going on there in Walton County. Chris?
Hey, Elise. Yesterday, you and I were having some fun on the golf course with Chris Tucker. That was some fun times, but today,
right.
This is serious.
Yes.
This is a little different. This is not as fun, or this is not as fun, definitely for this community. I spent some time with them this morning, and they've shared all their stories, and they're not very happy about it. Right here, I have a friend, Drew, and Drew's want to share some of his stories about what he's going through. And like you said, it's a 19.5 increase, and this is devastating for a lot of these people. And they really rallied together, and they really are not they're not excited about this and not happy with this, please, at all. And why don't you just give us a little insight about your story, how this affects you?
All right, so my name's Drew Davis. I just graduated from Columbus State University, so coming out of college, this is a big hit for me. I live in Monroe, Georgia, Walton County. This is such a beautiful, beautiful town, and I want to be able to enjoy it and, maybe have a family here one day and, watch my kids grow up. And it's going to be highly difficult with this millage rate increase. And to see and hear the effects that it's going to have on all my friends included, it's not right.
Well, how's it changed your life? What has it done to you?
The taxes are going up, so we're having to pay more, on our taxes or whatever for the county, and it's a really difficult time when we need to be, have whatever money we have to pay other bills, and this is just digging into the wallets of Walton County a little too harsh. And it's troubling.
Thank you, Drew. I really appreciate that. Elise, we have some other people we want to talk to. Elise, if you have any questions you want to ask in my ear, I'll be able to recite them to them. Tell us about how all this started and when you first heard about this, what did it mean to you, and how did you guys jump into action?
Thanks. Well, we heard about it probably like anybody does on TV or on YouTube or by social media or by the newspaper. And then we did jump into action when we heard that they were increasing the millage rate by 19.55%, almost 20%. And so we kind of found each other on Facebook and started meeting each other. We didn't know each other before this started. And next thing you know, we're organizing a petition drive, and we got more than 3,300 signatures of people putting pen to paper, one-on-one conversations around the community. We did that in 6 days. We just delivered that this morning to the commission.
You were telling me that you would have more if you had more time.
Oh, there's thousands more people who want to sign, but we want to get this done on a very, very short timeline. We only have a few more days before Friday is the last day that the commission could vote to roll back the increase. And today we have the courthouse flag is at half staff, and the flowers have been just posted on the courthouse door. And we have heard confirmation that one of our commissioners has passed away, and he's one of the ones who voted for the increase. So, we pray for the family. It's a very difficult time, but what this means is that right now we have 3 commissioners on our side and 2 that voted for the increase. So if they can call that special meeting now before Friday and have the vote, they'll vote with the people.
What are your chances you think that's going to happen?
Impossible things take more effort, and with God, anything is possible.
And I was with you this morning when you brought the petitions inside the building. And what was the reception that you received?
Well, I think that knowing now that the employee was aware of the death of the commissioner kind of helps me understand more about why she was not really feeling it.
Let me ask you this, if you have a chance, if you can hear me, Chris.
What is next?
Yeah, so
can you
ask if any of them have done the math on this, like knowing what their property taxes are and what a 19.55% increase would look like? Do any of them have numbers on how on that?
I am so glad you asked that. Let me bring in Dawn right here. Dawn, give us a little background of your lifestyle and how you live, and then we'll go into the numbers.
Okay. I moved here about 7 years ago. I'm a single mom. I have a 16-year-old daughter and a 28-year-old autistic son. They are both dependents. I myself went on disability a couple of years ago due to metastatic cancer. So this would be a horrible increase for me as far as property taxes. I was speaking with you earlier from this morning when we were here turning in the petition with the signatures. I went up to the county tax assessor's office and I had some things printed off because my mortgage payment has gone up $100. And the reason being is because they have assessed my property. I live in a mobile home on 1 acre of land. They assessed my property from $74,000 last year to $185,000 this year.
That's a large jump.
How does that even make sense? That has to be wrong. That cannot be a correct assessment of my property.
Did you do major improvements to your property?
No, and I am on homestead exemption. I had her check that while I was there. So why did it go from, my property taxes went from $364 to $1,364 from last year to this year. And this 19.55% increase, don't try to tell me that's not going to affect me negatively.
Have to have you to wrap it up.
It's already affecting me negatively because I believe this is incorrect.
Wow.
And I'm going to investigate this because this is not right.
Right.
So, again, I will say,
wow.
Please listen to the people who live in this county. We are the ones who vote. Do not put this off. Do not let this go past that deadline. Call the meeting. For us, people like us, I'm speaking for anybody who is on a fixed income. I know there are elderly people on fixed incomes. There are a lot of single mothers out here. They moved to Monroe, Georgia, and Walton County because we love this town.
Thank you, Don. Appreciate it.
Please, just
so those are some
you have the power. Make that change.
Yeah. So these are some of the stories that we've been hearing, and this community is very tight knit, and they're not going to give up on this at all.
Yeah, Chris, I mean, they've done the research, right? They've got the paperwork. They know the numbers. They know how this will impact them. So some pretty passionate pleas coming from there in Monroe, Georgia, there in Walton County. So thank you so much for sharing their stories with us today. We appreciate it, Chris. Thank you. All right, coming up on the show, we are talking Powerball mania continues. No one won the big Powerball jackpots, but there was a winner in Georgia. We'll tell you how much they won on the other side of the break. We'll see you there. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Elise Seedy, and thank you so much for streaming with us today. Got to get to this story. If you played the Powerball jackpot, you weren't the big winner, but if you were here in Georgia, you might have won $1 million. So there's that. A Georgia ticket matched the numbers to take home that $1 million prize. But a lot of buzz as this jackpot continues to grow. So some good news if you're maybe hoping to make it big. I don't know. Odds probably not in our favor, but just to break this down for you a little bit, this has been continuing now for, let's see here, it's the largest Powerball jackpot, 7th largest in the game's history. So we spoke with some people just to find out what they would do if they matched all the winning numbers. Here's what they said about it.
I want a brand new mansion. That's what I want for myself, a brand new mansion with my children on one wing and me on the other.
Sounds like a pretty good plan. I can see where she's going with that. Wants to be close, but not too close. So if you're thinking about playing, the next drawing for the Powerball lottery is happening on Wednesday night, the 38th since the jackpot was last won. So good luck to you if you're thinking about picking up a ticket. So let's get to something else that's happening in town. Circus Vasquez is always a really big draw for families to get to come out and enjoy. We sent our Paul Milliken out to meet some of the acts to learn more about when this is happening, the history behind it. This is a tradition that started back in 1969. So Paul Milliken has taken us behind the scenes.
Well, we are not just behind the scenes or backstage. We are in the middle of the ring, under the big top with Circus Vasquez, which is back at Plaza Fiesta through September 7th. It is an all-new show, and for the first time here in the United States, we are so thrilled to have Alexander Lichner. It's great to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Yeah, welcome to Atlanta, my friend.
I'm very happy to be here in the United States, as I said, the first time.
Yeah.
I feel very emotional, and I hope to enjoy all this season here in the United States.
Yes, I know that you will. Now, you may be first time in the United States, but you have been a circus performer for a very long time. Tell me about your background. Is it multiple generations in your family?
Yes, I'm the 5th generation of circus artists.
Wow.
I and my family, we've been traveling around 29 countries in the last 10 years, so we are international artists.
It's amazing. Okay, and you also have some Guinness World Records, right?
Not only just one, I have two Guinness World Records and over 30 international circus awards. I'm coming just now from the Festival of Monte Carlo, it's like the Oscar of the circuses.
Yes.
I feel very proud, and I feel very proud to be here in the United States after that.
Yeah, so when we come see you here at Circus Vasquez, what will you be doing?
I will be doing the trapeze act. It's an act unique in this world. I try to mix all the styles of trapeze and make an act where you have power, where you have emotion, risk, and at the same time you enjoy it.
Yeah, okay, so if you're doing trapeze, that means you are way up there. So I know everybody asks you this question. Do you have any fear of heights at all?
No, fear I don't have, but I have a lot of respect for the heights, because it's like 10 meters, I don't know, in feet, it's like 30 feet, 33 feet, it's high. Yeah,
yes,
it's high.
Yes. It is high up there. Okay, so you are going to be performing up there for audiences here in Atlanta. Do you love hearing the reaction of the crowd, hearing the oohs and the ahs and the applause?
Yes, this is the main thing of an artist. It's not about money, it's about passion, how people react, how we inspire people, how we make that people come here and they forget about the problems about 2 hours.
Yeah.
How you see this smiling. We have one of the greatest works in the world. We make people happy.
You do, absolutely. Well, I want you to make us happy right now. Can you show me just a little bit of what you do?
Okay, let's do a little bit. Okay,
let's do a little bit.
After we do something special for you.
So I've heard this rumor that at some point today, I'm going to end up off the ground. I don't know if that's going to happen yet. We're going to find out. But let's see what Alexander Lichner has to offer right now here in the ring under the big top. We're talking about Circus Vasquez. Oh, he is amazing already. Within seconds, you know, this is somebody who is going to thrill audiences. This is incredible. Holding on with just one hand, by the way, and no net. Never a net underneath. Again, this is Circus Vasquez here in Atlanta through September 7th.
I love that. Got to get out there, take the family to enjoy that. Here's a look at what we're continuing to follow for you throughout the day. The closing arguments expected today in the trial of Buchanan Mayor and former trooper A.J. Scott. We've taken you into the courtroom. We heard from him on the stand yesterday, so we're following what could happen today as we continue our coverage of that. Again, after closing arguments, again, expected to end today, but after that happens, jury deliberations are underway. A lot at stake in this case, so if it's something you want to continue to follow, you can go to our Fox 5 Atlanta YouTube channel. We'll continue to carry the trial for you there. If you're joining us on Fox Local, we're so glad you are. Remember, you can take us with you on the go, the Fox 5 Radio 1 network. That's 107.9 HD2 FM. And we will see you at noon. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
One person is dead, another person is in the hospital. All